Hello, everyone. We are joined today by Chase LaTouche from the Greenville University Track and Field program. How are you doing today, Chase?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
I wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to chat with us a little bit and get to know you a little more. You're from Florida, senior for the Panthers Track and Field team. How did you find your way up to Illinois?
Um, I graduated in 2020, and I had a friend in the 2021 class that was telling me that he got uh into contact with Coach Wilson, and he doesn't do too much research on his own. So I decided to look up the school, look up their stats, and do all that information getting for him. And when I did that, I was like, "This isn't a bad school, you know. I think it'd be a good stepping stone for you, but put in a good word for me as well, like as a joke, because I had nothing going on. I was doing community college." He was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." The next day, I think Coach Wilson called me, and I was like, "Oh, well, my friend actually did put in good word. That's good." And I spoke to Wilson a bit, told him about what I did, my background with track, and he just kept contact. He would call me once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. And I showed that how committed he was to wanting to have me as an athlete. So I decided I'd take my abilities to Greenville.
Yeah, so that's my next question for you. Great way to segue into. As far as the Greenville Track and Field program, a long history of success. Like you said, once you kind of did more research on the school, realized how good the school is, and then obviously kind of see the success that that track and field program had. What is it like once you step on campus to be a part of such a successful track and field program and continuing that strong tradition they have?
I'd say at first, there was a little bit of pressure because I knew what they have done in the past, but I think once practice actually started, I came to the realization like I'm gonna do what I can to the best of my ability, and we're just gonna see like what comes forth from that. And once I got that realization, I was just, I was a little more relaxed. Being able to add to that history is very nice as well, though. So I'm happy that I was able to relax myself because I think that if I was tense throughout so much of it, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Right, and, like you said, adding to history, you've done your share as well, setting indoor records in the 400 last year at the conference. You're a five-time all-conference performer already with the spring season still to come. Um, for those of you who don't know, Chase is a sprinter. So, Chase, when did you first realize how fast you are?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe 8th grade. So I started track in 7th grade, and middle school that I was currently at, they didn't really have the best track and field program. So it seemed like they were just kind of throwing kids into different things. And I actually started out as an 800 runner
Okay.
and could not stand long distance practices. I'm sure as many middle schoolers could not, but ended up moving and changing middle schools in the following year. Based on what the coaches saw me doing, they moved me to the 400. And my first track meet from, I believe like lane 6, I ended up winning the 400 unexpectedly. It threw me for a loop, but I was like, if I can, let's see if I can do this again. It wasn't a one time deal. Next meet ended up winning it again, and then went on to high school, kept me in the 4, and then they tried me in different sprints as well. They did move me up to the 8 again, actually, which I did not enjoy too much. But everything from the 1 to the 8, I seemed like to be I was well rounded in those events. So I think that's when I started to realize I have the speed that I've always wanted to have.
You mentioned it there, realizing that 800 practice, you weren't a big fan of it. Take us through a practice for a sprinter. Most of your events, ranging from 10 to 50 seconds and you're done with the race. So how do you prepare for that in practice for such a short amount of time to continually get better and push yourself?
Well, since I'm more 400 oriented, I think the biggest thing for me is, and for a lot of long sprinters, is speed endurance. Speed endurance workouts are a thing. Race modeling as well. We have one workout that we did last year where it was 200 meters at 400-meter race pace, 30 seconds rest, then another 200 at race pace, which was rough. Everyone was already like really tired after that. But then we had a 10-minute rest followed by for 100 meters with 30 seconds rest at race pace, and everyone was down and out for the count after that. So having the race model is good because you're able to see like what you should be running, and then like the long sprint, like in endurance practices as well, where we'll have like a 500, 400, 300, 200, 100 ladder as well, just to work when you're tired, make sure you're driving the knees, keeping your pumping your arms when you're tired. That's typically what a long sprint workout would look like for me.
You mentioned about the practice and stuff. Let's move to a meet day. Obviously the sprints are usually at the end of meets. How do you stay focused? How do you stay sharp? Getting there early and then staying throughout the whole meet. How do you keep that focus?
So, I think for me, it's like kind of getting the jitters out early. Like I like to talk with my friends a lot, get out a few laughs and all this types of stuff because when it comes to the 400, I am known to look very menacing during my warm up. And I tell my friends and coaches like, hey, like I look mad. I'm not mad. I'm extremely focused, but please do not talk to me. Many of my friends, such as my friends Carter and my friend James, have told me that multiple athletes from our team have come up to them and said, "Hey, is Chase okay? He looks a little mad." He's just like, "No, he's just focused. Just don't worry about it. He's all good."
A couple more questions for you before we wrap it up. What is your major at Greenville?
Biology.
Biology. Okay. Any plans? What any idea what you would like to do after graduation?
I would like to be a marine biologist. I've been a huge fan of the ocean since I was a little kid, and sharks have been my favorite animal for as long as I can remember. So being able to study them would definitely be a big goal of
Very cool. And then sum up your time spent at Greenville University. How would you sum it up?
I'd say I definitely have spent, I'd say at least 70% of it related to athletics. I'm always, typically around other people from the team, thinking about track, communicating with the coaches. And then there's also time inside the classroom, taking notes, doing tests, doing assignments. In terms of fun, sometimes it's just going to the library, spending time with friends, going to like little tiny events that they'll have and stuff like that. And I'd say that's how I spend most of my time. Mostly athletically though. That's where my head is a lot for most of the time.
Well, one final question for you. Obviously, you anchor the relay team a lot.
Mhm.
Relays for meets are typically at the end of the meets. Probably some of the most exciting time because you have everybody kind of focused around the track there. Can you just talk about the excitement of relays? What's it like to be a part of a relay team and then particular anchor that relay team?
Oh, it is. It is. There's a lot of pressure. I'd say that, but it's also really exhilarating at the same time, especially being an anchor. If all the other exchanges go well, you just got to think like it's my time to shine type of situation. And if you're in the lead, that's even a little more pressure because it's like now I have to maintain the lead. I'd say it's a mixture of emotions. Sometimes just man, I really don't want to do this right now, or I can't wait to do this type of thing. I'd say I feel like I experience all those every single 4x4 that I've ever done, no matter what leg I am. I could have just been running the 4x4, and sometimes I still think I don't want to be here right now. But sometimes you just get the baton and go, and you don't even realize it, and the finish line's right there, and just go through and enjoy what you got left.
Yeah, well, it's enjoying to watch it for sure. You opened up last week with your first outdoor meet, and then this weekend you're over at WashU for your next one. So we wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you soon at the SLIAC Championships.
Awesome. Thank you very much.